Welcome to the channel. I am Ladewaybac, and today I'm going to go over some new techniques that I've learned for Jacko. I was in a bit of a struggle. After I fought a pro player, he exposed some of my gameplay, so I tried to find out some new things, and in this video I'm going to show you what I've come up with. First off, I want to go over some options that we can do from a range. Now of course you know our regular stuff like a dash back, minion throw, or you got the kick, and you could always do something like this, or do it with any of the other buttons. And you know, that's usually the projectile game that I used to go for, but I found some other options that I think you'll find pretty cool. Now first, I want to show you a cool little trick that you can do with the move Servant Shoot right here. Now normally if you put it down, you kick it, and let's say I wanted to do a sweep after, the animation's long and it would come out really shortly, to the point where I could hit the minion on the ground. Well, I found a way to free myself up even faster. So if you kick the minion while trying to pick up the minion after you do the Servant Shoot, she'll do a little quick pickup animation, but she won't pick up the minion. And then you're free to do sweeps. So we have him countering after a hit, right? We get a counter. If I just do it without trying to pick up the minion, he's just gonna block it. And also, the minion can defend you now because we have a minion out and we're doing the sweep. So here, let me show you. We can even combo. So even if he blocks it, we have a minion to get our backs if our sweep gets blocked. Now I have some more things you can do with Servant Shoot, but before I get into that, I want to go over my reasoning for finding out stuff like this, because typically with Jacko, you know, she doesn't really get high damage off of her counters really, and usually what you're looking for is a hard knockdown. So I found that every time I do the sweep, I can get hit. So if I could, maybe if I pick up the minion or something, maybe I could avoid getting hit by a low punch or maybe even some kicks. So what I do is pick it up and try to run if I'm far enough, and run and throw the minion afterwards, or do something like jump with the minion. But like a lot of times you're getting countered because like you can't really do anything after the sweep. Like all your moves will get you countered. And here's what my biggest issue was. Let me go to our counter attacks. This is for Kai. I was playing a pro player and he was doing this to me all the time. So every time I do my sweep, I'm getting overdrived. There's no way you could block it. I could pick up my minion. There's no time to drop it. Well, even if I could drop it, see? Just dropped it in my hands, you see that? Still get hit. There's really nothing you could do. I could do the Servant Shoot. Nothing you could do. So every time I would try to go for the hard knockdown, this pro player would just overdrive me. So I was trying to figure out what I can do. So what I now do with Jacko is, instead of going for the sweep after the kicks, oh wait, let me get rid of that. Well, actually no. Instead of going for the sweep after the kicks, what I do is I just kick and then summon a minion and then do stuff after that, because I'm trying to find new ways to avoid using the sweep, especially when they have overdrive meter. But if they do have meter and they're known to do that to you, like they've done it to you already, what you can do is do your overdrive instead of them. Was he still doing it? Okay, so it's a pretty strict timing, but you want to do it like right at the end of your sweep, and if the opponent overdrives, your overdrive will come directly after theirs and it will counter it. Like here, this is gonna go through now. So that's what I came up with to counter the overdrive. Is the best way to do it is to overdrive afterwards, or unless you're Roman canceling, you know. And that's how I came up with with what I'm gonna show you now. And also, before I get to that, this works for everything. So they could be countering with whatever. We'll even do his aerial edge, which is his DP. As long as you do it at the end of the sweep animation, it'll hit. But it looks like he's not doing anything. So I'll make. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was the stun. Let me show you the DP. This is the DP. So they can still get slammed even if they're doing a regular attack or anything. Like whatever they do at that moment, they will get overdrived. So just keep that in mind. So first off, what I've been doing to avoid overly using the 2D so I don't get countered as much is I do the kick and then throw out a minion afterwards. So if they're not mashing, usually you can do this. And if they do tend to mash or they're onto you, you can always just do the kick and then do the servant shoot afterwards, and that's a guaranteed counter every time. And they're obviously not going to overdrive you off of a kick unless they're some kind of godlike being. So what I first was doing was this. I spaced it out, so if they do hit a button, they will get hit. So that's 3 separate hits that you can do, and they might get caught by any one of those. And that's just the first thing. Now the next thing for a servant shoot. So we can do that, do the kick, and then place a minion, right? And do something like this. This is a whole streamline of projectiles at your opponent. And I know you're thinking, sure, they can just jump at us, right? So what we want to do is throw the minion afterwards. As you can see, the servant shoot can cancel into the minion toss. So that cancels. So if they do want to jump out of it, they are getting hit. And you can keep going with these kicks because it could go up to 3 minions. Like once you get used to summoning a minion and dropping the minion, it gets kind of easy. Not really, but you know, I'm sure once you get the hang of it, it'll just come naturally to you. And then you can just keep kicking, or you could throw one, or and you could even do it a different way, like how something like this. I kick twice and I throw, right, and then I could run up to the minion and kick this one and do something different. Oh, mess up there. And you know, do stuff like that. You know, I know it wasn't a smooth transition into the attack, but obviously you could do that. I just kind of messed up there. You know. You know, you can just mix it up, and it should increase your offense. Unless, even if they jump after you do throw the minion, you know, there's so many ways you could do that. So just find your own pattern that you like to do, and then stick to that. And I know I've shown this trick already, but if you are setting up your minion shoot, and you know you want to kick it multiple times, and you're looking to do something like that, and your opponent is on to you, and he's gonna jump. That's why I showed this technique where you can duck down like that if you try to pick up the minion as you kick it, because then you're free to anti-air like immediately after. So you see them jumping at you, and then you could just immediately anti-air if I do it correctly, you know, like that. Or you can even do the 6HS, right? So if your opponent's jumping at you, just pretend to pick up the minion and anti-air them. But I like to go for the sweep. So if I know it's hitting, you know, just sweep afterwards. Now here is a technique that I've learned to shoot 2 minions at your opponent at the same time. See that? We jump with the minion, slam him to the ground, and we do it another time, and then we minion kick, and we send it right at our opponent. And you're probably thinking like, and what opportunity am I going to get to do that? So if we're sweeping or we're doing our heavy slash, we could always cancel and then jump backwards with it. And that's how we get that to happen. So if your opponent is jumping and a minion bounces into him, they could end up in different positions. But if they're blocking on the ground, you're guaranteed to have them in that kind of formation. Usually one will be in front of him and another one will be behind him if he does jump. Now here is something else that is interesting that involves using the countdown. So what we did there is we activated the countdown so the minions could take more hits so that we could keep kicking it at our opponent. And then at the end, we summon the third minion. We pick back up the third minion, we jump and throw it. So if they do want to jump at us, they will get hit by the minion and fall down onto the bombs. So So you know, sometimes if they're a little far from you, you won't be in range of the kick. So if you notice that, you can always just take a step forward and then start kicking afterwards. And there's one more thing I wanted to say about that. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to start it from the kick. You can do it from the sweep and jump out, or you can do it from the minion shoot and then jump out, or you can just do it in mid-screen. As long as the minion hits them while they're on the ground. They could jump, and the minions will still land in front of you, but they won't land in a perfect situation. So I found that a lot of situations, if you hit a jumping opponent, there'll be one minion on one side and another minion on the other side, which isn't really that bad, especially when the time bomb goes off. So, well, the countdown. So there will be one minion behind him that can go off, and then he'll have to kill the one in front of him. So it's not really a bad situation to go to. But you can just start from the middle of the screen, you know, as long as the minion hits him, and then you just kick afterwards. You can even jump backwards and then jump forward. Yeah, so it's an interesting little technique that I learned. Also, if you're ever in a position where you feel your opponent's going to jump at you as you're placing down your minion, you can always 6HS, and then have the minion bounce up while you're doing your move. But you can also cancel that to pick up another minion and hold that. So which would be pretty good for if your opponent is approaching you from the sky. Now, the previous thing that I did before, you could also do this with the 6HS. As long as you're not too close to the minion or too far behind it, so you want to place it and just do it right afterwards. That's how you get that's how it's more consistent. And then jump into do the kick like before. And just like before, we can get the same kind of combo. If you can call it a combo. Not really a combo, more like ranged pressure. Now, we don't always need two minions. You know, you can always just bounce the one minion off him, and then we can just kick that one multiple times. You know? And the better you get at that, like, I haven't mastered it myself, but like the better you get at that, you'll cause the opponent so many problems, you know? You know, do something like that. You know, find your own way. Now, my last trick for the serpent shoot is we could jump and do the jumping D with the minion in front of us, and as we fall backwards, we could do the serpent shoot. So it's like a double projectile, which is pretty cool, little trick to have there. And you can, depending on how close your opponent is when you do it, you could do something like this. You know, it's kind of hard to do though. At least for me, it is. Because if my opponent is close, then that next serpent shoot will hit, and then I can keep the pressure going on like that, like how I was doing previously. I'll try it again. Yes, so something like that, yeah. Man, it's so hard to do. But just imagine that you're really good at that. Something like that, you know? Something like that. Now, earlier in the video, I was going over why I like to place a minion after the singular kick. Because you know how the sweep can be dangerous. And I did say, like, if your opponent is getting used to your kick and then minion placement, he will try to mash out of that, or trying to do his own combo on you, knowing that you're going to place the minion. And when your opponent gets onto you, that's when you do the minion shoot. The servant shoot? What's it called again? Servant shoot, yes. So what we're gonna do here is we can get a corner combo off of that if we have conditioned our opponent to attack us after we do our kick. So we do crouching punch, and then we do servant shoot afterwards, guaranteed counter. And they're not gonna overdrive off of the singular kick, because that'd be way too hard to do. So just like we do the minions. Well, I was just kind of winging it there. But I say do like maybe 3 or 4 servant shoots against the wall, and then just kind of make up your own combo from there. Like whatever is comfortable for you to do. Obviously not that. You know, something like that. Just make up your own thing. But you know, you definitely want to get the first few kicks, and then, you know, just come up with your own combo that is that works for you and that you can find to be more consistent. But just keep kicking them as many times as you can, and then maybe throw in some minion attacks, because the minion attacks will have them bounce to you. But like, I wouldn't do the minion attack if you're holding it in holding a minion in your hand already. So you just might want to be aware of that. So even I did the minion attack there and he flew over me. So if I'm gonna do it there, then I'd have to be more prepared for it. But just have your own combo ready. Whatever works for you. I don't know, I like doing the 2 kicks like that for some reason. But I know I could get a better combo. So you see I do the minion attack after I drop the minion. So that works too. But do whatever makes you comfortable, because the multiple kicks might be a little hard for you, especially if you're getting it off a counter and then you have to hurry up and do the combo after that. It can be a little difficult. So just find whatever works for you. Now my final thing, a lot of times when I do my 2K 2D, and I'll do the minion shoot afterwards, the servant shoot. If I believe they're gonna block it, I'll just throw out the servant shoot, and sometimes it ends up being a 3-hit combo or whatever. So in case that happens, I think a good follow-up is to jump and throw a minion afterwards. Why? Because we jump, throw the minion, we could dash and then minion attack afterwards, and then we'll have a minion in front of them and we'll be close to our opponent. So even if they block, we'll be right there. Maybe I could get it with a block. What would it be? Guard after, no, only first hit. No, after first hit. Oh, he's not doing it there. But you see how you see what I'm talking about though. It's a good way to maintain pressure if you send them flying away from you. And those are the new techniques that I have learned with Jacko. So I could say this is basically a guide, more of an advanced guide, I would say. And I have done 2 previous guides with Jacko, so I will link those in the description if you are interested. And I know the multiple kicks may seem kind of difficult, but it's basically muscle memory. What it is you place your minion, you kick it, and then you cancel into the hold, and then you kick the minion again. I don't know why she didn't kick it, but you kick the minion again, and you drop, and then you kick again. So it's kick, hold, kick, drop, kick, hold, kick, drop. So I know it looks difficult, but it's basically muscle memory, and I'm sure you'll be able to get it down. Leave a like if this video has helped you in any way, and subscribe for daily fighting game content. Thanks for watching.